So I'm going to do a quick look for you guys today using my Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. I posted a picture on Instagram a few days ago, and it was suggested that I make a video of the look that I did, and my friend Lucy in particular mentioned that she wished that I would make a video using that palette. So Lucy, this video is for you. So it's just going to be real quick. It's eyes only. I have my foundation and my eyebrows on, so like I said, it's just going to be eyes only. So we're going to start by priming our lids, and I'm going to prime from the lash line all the way up to the eyebrow. Now normally I would use my Urban Decay primer potion, but I ran out. So I'm going to use my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I'm just going to put a light layer down. I'm using a 286 brush to apply this. I almost forgot about my mirror. Okay, I'm going to use another paint pot. This one is from MAC. It's called Indianwood. If you don't have Indianwood, you can use one of the color tattoos. I believe it's called Bad to the Bronze. You could use that, or any sort of like ambery bronze cream eyeshadow that you have, something that'll set nicely. And then I'm just going to lightly put this all over my lid, just up to the crease. I'm just going to pat a little bit of a color underneath my eyebrow. I'm going to use this one from the Urban Decay palette. It's called 13. And I'm just going to use a flat brush to press that in. I don't normally highlight under my eyebrows, but lately I've kind of been getting back into it. But I prefer to use something a little bit more matte than shimmery, but that's just my preference. You can use whatever you like. For my crease, I'm going to use Soft Brown from MAC. I'm actually going to kind of start with Soft Brown and then mix a little bit of Saddle in. But this one here is Soft Brown and that one is Saddle. So I'm just going to kind of mix those two together, and I'm going to put those into my crease. I'm just using a fluffy brush for this part. And I will add several layers of this. And I'll blend it into my actual crease, kind of on my eyelid and then upward. So this is probably going to be annoying for some of you, but you don't have to use this color. I'm just trying to stick with what I used in the Instagram picture. So for the outer corner here, I used this color from NARS. It's called Galapagos. It's a really pretty brown with gold fleck in it. But if you don't have that, you can just always use the brown from the palette. It's called Whiskey. So don't feel like you have to have exactly the same products that I'm using. Use what you have, but I'm going to stick with what I used in the picture. So when I used this color, I actually began with a wing. So to do that, I'm going to use an angle brush. This one is a 263 from MAC. So I'm just going to look straight ahead, and I do that because of the way that my eyes are shaped. It just helps me better with my wing. So I'm looking straight ahead in my mirror. I'm coming into this outer corner, creating a line. And then I'm going to look straight ahead again and connect it over into my lash line. Then when I'm looking down, you can see it kind of starts to go up a little bit and then in. Then I'm going to take my flat shader brush into that same color. I'm going to go right into here and press it in. Just like that. Then I'm going to use the tip. I'm just going to kind of press in here along my lash line. And then to blend it out, I'm going to use one of my favorite brushes. This is a MAC 221. It's a newer brush. And I like this because it's kind of it's smaller and it's easier for me to blend in my crease. So I'm just going to tilt my head back a little bit, go right into this outer corner here and start to blend in. If you want to, you can use your 221 brush and go back into a little bit of that brown and add a little bit more into your crease if you want it to be a little bit deeper. So you have a little bit of a wing here, and then it kind of angles inward. So that's kind of like a bat wing liner. So the next thing that I did was to use this. This is from MAC. It's called Midnight Tryst. It's Into the Well eyeshadow. You can use this as an eyeshadow or a liner, and the idea behind it is you put like a little drop of water in there and kind of mix it, and you can use it as liner. But it also works really well without the water, and I feel like it's a little bit easier to use without the water as well. So again, using the angle brush, and the reason I did this is because I wanted this sort of like wing out here to be a little bit darker, so that's why I decided to go in with this. If you can get your hands on this, I do recommend it. This has quickly become one of my most favorite eyeshadow slash liners. I reach for this all the time. So all I did was I followed the line out here, and then I just pulled inward to make it a little bit darker. This is optional, you don't have to do this. And then I just followed along my lash line. You can also wait until your lid color is on to do this part. So what I'm going to do now is go back into a little bit of soft brown with that same 221 brush. And I'm just going to lightly go right along the edge here, just to make sure that everything is nicely blended. I always go back in with a little bit of my crease color, and I'm going to take my fluffy brush right here at this top edge. So using my flat shader brush, this 242 is my favorite from MAC. I use it all the time. So from the Urban Decay palette, I'm going to use this color here. It's called Radar. I'm going to start with that one. Oops, that's what that looks like. I kind of wish Urban Decay would stop including brushes in their palettes. I don't ever use them. I have so many Urban Decay. I would much rather that they went back to the liner. For those of you that bought the first Naked palette, you guys remember when they put the double-ended liners in? I wish they would just stick to that instead of these brushes. So I'm going to start by pressing Radar onto my lid. And don't worry if you go down too far and you kind of lose a little bit of that liner. You can always go back in and add more. I usually end up doing that anyway. But I like a little bit more of a smoky look. And if you're getting older, pressing your eyeshadows in is going to be your best bet. Instead of just trying to go back and forth like this, pressing in works much better. So now I'm going to take Dirty Sweet, which is this color here. Same brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and I'm just going to lightly tap it over the top of Radar. Like so. Then I'm going to use my 221 brush here in this outer corner and just kind of flick inward. So now this is when you can go back in and darken up your liner if you want to, or if you kind of blended a little bit of it, too much of it away, just go back in and add to it. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. Something else I did that I forgot to mention was I actually went back into Galapagos and I used my flat shader brush, and I have my darkest line right here. So I went just inside here and added a little bit more Galapagos to bring some of that warmer brown back in. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the shape and how I went about doing things. So if you have made a mistake with your liner or it's uneven, it's really easy to fix. If you can get yourself a flat brush like this is one of my most favorite brushes. It's a 212 from MAC. It's a flat eyeliner brush, but it's very narrow, which is what I like about it. And the bristles aren't so long that I can't control it. So I'm going to take a little bit of concealer, and what I'm going to do is, and I've showed this trick to you guys before, but if you're new to my channel, I'll show you. This is a really easy way to even up and sharpen up your liner. So what you want to do is, I just tilt my head back and I press the concealer in, and then I just go in and pull down. So that'll clean up any mess that you have, and it also sharpens up your liner if that's what you're looking for. And then the last thing that I did for my eyes was I added a little bit of a pressed pigment from MAC. It's called Day Gleam. And this was sort of an afterthought. And I didn't even put it in my picture on Instagram. All I did was I put it along my lower lash line, and I used my finger for this. So I just ran my finger along the lower lash line, and it just added a little something extra. Okay, so I'm done. I just went and finished up the rest of my face because this was just a real quick eye tutorial. I'll list everything that I used on my face down below in the description box. I hope that you guys found this helpful. I'll zoom in one more time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.